Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful and super duper delicious wherever you are, in the world. And that life is treating you oh so deliciously wherever you are. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, beam me up, my juice little lads. Thank you, little lads. You lovely brats. They are, aren't they? What delicious little babies now then. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to any passers-by. And I hope that you too are having a super duper and delicious, wonderful time wherever you are in the world, my delicious babies. So much love to you all, my delicious ones. Okay, now then, if you do happen to enjoy my video today, if you could please click on the like. For others of you, please feel free to subscribe. And finally, if you'd like to leave a comment, it's always welcomed. Okay, and thank you. Now then, so we're here, number 1, Fiona Bruce. Who's been in our neck of the woods in the old UK. Well, she's been working for a charity, for rather a long time, to do with domestic violence and everything. Well, anyway, she's resigned, apparently, according to what I'd heard. And, it was all to do with, what's his name? Stanley Johnson, I've heard. Not that I'm really particularly interested, really, to tell you the truth, my delicious little babies, but, but I'm just find myself mentioning it. Something to do with he broke his wife's nose. Do you say? You see, what I have to say, okay, because I have known in my decades, okay, yes, I have, rather a lot, yes, okay, of domestic violence, okay. Now, as we very well know, I'm not, and I'm going to be honest now, my delicious little babies, I'm not very keen on charities, okay? And the reason why I'm not keen on charities is because the majority of the ka-ching, okay, goes somewhere else. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes, so if we was to look at this, from a realistic point of view now, okay, there are many out there who do not get any help at all. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? No, they do not, okay? So, unless somebody can come and prove it to me, okay? There we go. Well, I just feel that, you got your do-gooders out there, God bless them, okay, who want to do good, who want to give ka-ching, pounds, shilling, pence, dollars and change to charities, yes, but a lot of it, like I said, doesn't get to its destination where it should. Do you see? And I've seen some terrible things in my years of domestic violence. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. I mentioned on another video yesterday, about a dear lady who I knew, I still think about her from time to time. God bless her, beautiful dear lady she was, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Where she had black eyes, and that's with somebody, what do they call them? These very high up doctors and that, professionals. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, it goes on. My point is, this is what I want to talk about, right? My point is, it goes on in everyday life. Okay, it has done for decades and decades and decades. Okay, that is a fact of the matter. Now, yes, we could say that the majority is when a man hits a woman, okay, which of course, this should just not be allowed to happen. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But you will have some cases where women hit men. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, so it could be their boyfriend, it could be their husband, do you see what I'm saying? And so that they can rule with an iron fist, okay, that's just figure of speech you're saying, there we go, right? They like to control, so it could be anything. It could be quite simply, maybe they watched, in their childhood that maybe one of their parents was very bossy and controlling, do you see? So of course they grow up and they become the same, okay? For others, they could have seen domestic violence with their parents, or, you know, maybe with aunties or uncles or something like that. Do you see what I mean? So they were brought up around, there we go, brought up around it. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. But when we actually look at any form of domestic violence, you will usually find that really, you know, which I do say, it's control. Do you see? It's to stop somebody from, you know, doing what there we go, for even say it, from doing what they want to do. But of course, you know, you do hear, not as much by the way, my delicious babies, but you do hear that, you know, these ones in, shall we say, the public eye. Do you see what I mean? And they get into a kerfuffle. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But I always say, I mean, you know, for the majority, God bless, yes, for the majority of man or woman out there, they can walk away, but you do have the small, I'd say the small amount who, well, really, you know, even if they tried, very sadly, there's just no way out. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, and it is awfully sad when you hear that, yes. And, you know, on occasions, you know, well, actually, it happens far more regular than what we actually hear. There we go. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, but where, you know, they're not allowed to walk away, and very sadly, they no longer have their life. I mean, it's a very serious thing indeed, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, very serious indeed. Now then, so, you know, God bless and God love anybody who's in domestic violence situations. Do you see what I mean? Especially if they've got little babies or little young bens, you know, children. Do you see what I mean? Who are having to grow up around this as well. And this is what I want to talk about as well. You know, when I talk about the 15-minute cities, well, you imagine, okay, if you was to put large, colossal numbers of man and woman, you know, families and everything else in these 15-minute cities, well, I mean, do you know what I mean? It would just be flipping dreadful. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Because at the moment, the way it stands is that, you know, it's like we're all spaced out. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So really, for a lot, they are spaced out. Do you see what I mean? Unless, God bless, you know, unless they happen to live in a tall rise block or something like that. There we go. Do you see? But if we had to live there, I mean, could you imagine what life would be like, my delicious little babies? Yes? Because you wouldn't find many who would just stand by or just, I don't know, turn the volume up with the box in the corner of the room. Do you understand what I mean? Like they pretend that they cannot hear it. Do you know what I mean? When it's right in your flipping birthrace. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So, of course, this would cause all sorts of things. Do you see? But, you know, the thing is, you are going to have your, what I call, you know, and I'm sorry to have to say this, my delicious little babies, but you are going to have your brain dead. And yes, and I will say that, yes, flipping brain dead, okay? Where at the end of the day, they'd be quite happy to live in these 15-minute cities. Well, here's what I got to say. If that's how they feel, let them keep their flipping silly opinions to themselves. Do you understand what I mean? Because none of us, my delicious little babies, wish to be living in 15-minute cities, okay? Now, I'd actually spoke to somebody who I know, a lovely dear lady, yesterday evening, and, you know, talking on the old dog and burn, okay? And I mentioned about the 15-minute cities in our neck of the woods in the old UK. And God bless her, she'd not heard anything. Do you see? So this is what I'm saying. I mean, to me, this is where, I said it before and I'll say it again, you know, far more should know about, there we go, should know about this. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, by the way, you know something I've just forgotten to mention. You know, I'm only nearly flipping 10 minutes in. In our neck of the woods in the old UK, well, it is rather chilly. It's a tiny bit windy, okay? And at the moment, it is dry, okay? So there's no sunshine at all. Now then, so yes, so, you know, we still have to get that word out. Do you see what I mean? My delicious little babies, because we simply just do not want this, okay? Then, of course, there's a change in subject. So there's another man. There was a man, sorry, and apparently this video, because I seen it days ago actually, and I thought, good on you flipping man there, because what he'd done, my delicious little babies, you know, because you got this thing going on, yes, where, you know, you're going into London and that, and then what's happening is that, you know, they're wanting to put £12.50, do you see what I mean, British sterling, you know. So if you say, for example, if you've got somebody who, I don't know, for argument's sake, oh, it's just started to bucket down with rain now, my delicious little baby. So I just said that and now it's been bucketing down with rain. Anyway, let me get back to the matter in hand. So say, for example, if somebody, you know, I don't know, they could be on, what, £30 an hour, £30 an hour. Well, by the time they take their, you know, driving, the petrol or diesel out, and by, you know, and quite possibly their lunch, unless they make something from home, and the £12.50, well, you know, they may as well be going to work for nothing. Well, it's common sense, isn't it, my delicious little babies? It's, you know, pure common sense. So what your man decided to do now, I mean, it is amusing. Do you understand what I mean? It's only a very short video, my delicious little babies, yes, but, you know, he tied his number plate, his car number plate, right? And he tied it to himself, do you see what I mean? So you could see the number plate at the back of him. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? So what can they say? Which, of course, you've got other video channels, God bless them, right? Where, you know, and I was listening to one this morning, you know, where, you know, he was reading his comments, you know, to his viewers who listen to him on a daily basis. And they were just saying, yes, basically what they're saying is just to flood the system. There we go, to flood the system. Do you see what I mean? So if everybody started doing, which, you know, I heard this days ago, right? But, you know, I mean, that's why it's important to read comments. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, okay. And yes, but if everybody was to do that anyway, do you see what I mean? What could they do? So what this is really about, because, I mean, the way I see it is like this, right? And I've been saying it on all of my videos. You're right, Sue, yes? Ah, some lovely little neighbours up the road, just going for a walk with the little French bulldog. Anyway, lovely, beautiful family. Anyway, so you see, the fact of the matter is, our putrid governments, okay, well, it is, isn't it? It's a war, and it's a fight on us. Yes? Do you see? And, you know, but the more and more that they're wanting to push this control, you see, this is then what's going to happen in, there we go, in retaliation. Do you see? Because everybody's just going to get peed off, but, you know, but at the same time, you know, they didn't want, you know, ones, you know, whether it's with the cars or the vans or, do you know what I mean? So they want as few as possible, you know, driving into, there we go, driving into London. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Since when does somebody own London? And never mind our putrid governments. We know who. Since when do they own London in our neck of the woods in the old UK? Well, not in my neck of the woods, my delicious little babies. You know, it's somewhere else. But, so what gives them the rights? Do you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying, see? And then I heard, so let's change the subject. Then I heard, and this is in Ireland, again. I mean, they're getting it big time there, my delicious little babies. I mean, I did a video yesterday, and I'll say it today, I'm not apologising for it. Do you know what I mean? I was so angry when I seen what I see. That poor woman. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes, I mean, that sort of behaviour is just not on. It's not acceptable and it should not be allowed. Anyway, so I was listening to just a real short video this morning, and what it was this Irish landlord, right? Now, he's, rented out one of his properties, I do believe it's a flat, to a migrant, okay? Well, this migrant, my delicious little babies, wanted one of these, what do they call them? You know, those portable stoves, cookers, okay? So he wanted one of those, right? Now, what the landlord was saying, his landlord, yes, in Ireland, right, is that he could not have one, okay, because it's to do with safety. It's like, if you look in my neck of the woods in the old UK, right, it's all right, Ruby's just Rubes. It's, what it is, sorry, I've just lost my concentration for a moment. Anyway, sorry about that, my delicious little babies, yes. The thing is this, you see, in our neck of the woods in the old UK, right, if you're in, like, flats, which, like, not mine, which is ground floor, but, higher, yes, now, in most places, well, this is what I knew of going back a long time ago, so, yes, so I'm not sure about now, my delicious babies, please do not quote me, right? But for most, there was not allowed to have a gas cooker. So they could only have electric. They're saying to do with the safety. Okay? So because that landlord in Ireland had said it to the migrant, right? Well, he just got a hurl of abuse. The landlord did. And then the landlord got called a racist. So we're back to that again. Racist. Do you see what I'm saying to my delicious little babies? Yes. And then the migrant even went on to put up a little video of himself. Bad-mouthing his landlord. Do you see? Now, there's something else I want to discuss here, because you see, I've been saying over the months anyway, right? When we look at this, and even with the hotels and stuff, okay, in our neck of the woods in the old UK, right? And of course, you had some of your greedy ones, because that's what it is, it's greed. I mean, sacking, staff that they'd had for years, right? Just so that our putrid governments, offer them a load of ka-ching. Do you see what I mean? So where's the loyalty? Do you see? Then, of course, them poor dear beautiful little souls lost their jobs. And it was a number of hotels. Do you see what I mean? Yes? But I always say about greed, now it happens anywhere, so it could be England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, okay, it could be anywhere. But the fact of the matter is that if you're greedy, right, it's like I was hearing in our neck of the woods in the old UK, that some landlords had been approached, okay, where, by our putrid governments, right? Because, the putrid government's, going to pay them ka-ching. Do you see what I mean? Like for a full year and everything like that, right? So it means that they would, the landlords and landwomen, would then boot out their existing tenants, just so that they could get their ka-ching. Do you see? So it was making me wonder whether that landlord in Ireland, okay, I'm not saying about every one of them, because poor Ireland, God bless them, they really are having everything thrown at them at the moment, yes, but it's making me wonder whether he did something like that, because of course, the video is only very short, but it's making me wonder whether he did something like that, and then what he's now ended up with, yes, where it's, backfired. Do you see what I'm, there we go, you know, where it's backfired, it's just figure of speech. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? So it's not always a very good idea. Now then I heard about another story, and this other story, and this was days and days ago as well, actually, and this was to do with, oh, flipping, forgot what I was going, I knew what I was going to say, my delicious little babies, okay, I've just flipping forgotten what I was going to flipping say. No, it's gone out of my head. It'll come back, my delicious little babies, anyway. But of course, you know, we're hearing so many stuff. Oh, that was it. This couple, right, they had some, was it migrants moved in next door to them? Anyway, and because apparently the garden was, you know, that the migrants had moved into, okay, because the garden was, you know, rather overgrown and looking rather a mess. What this couple, you know, who was so very kind, okay, to give the migrants, I don't know if they were migrants or asylum seekers, they were one of the two, yes? And the couple, okay, who were already living, you know, in their home, they gave a fair bit of gardening tools and everything, you know, so that these migrants or asylum seekers, you know, could do their garden, and the couple actually gave it to them. So, you know, never said to them, oh, you know, just when you finish with them, bring them back. They were kind enough to give it to them, give them different tools. But as soon as, you know, with the couple, as soon as the gentleman said that he'd fought in, where was it? Was it, I'm trying to remember now, my delicious little babies. I don't know if it was Iraq or somewhere like that, okay? It was somewhere like that anyway, my delicious little babies, because I simply just did not write it down, okay? So my apologies for, you know, for not remembering everything. But, well, of course, as soon as he said that, well, of course, these migrants or asylum seekers started giving that couple flipping hell. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? And by the way, that's, you know, just a word, okay? Started to give them hell. Do you see what I mean? So instead of just being thankful for the gardening tools, do you see what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. You see, with a lot who go into the army, and I just want to say this as well, my delicious little babies, for those, a lot of them who go into the army, right? 9 times out of 10, I mean, at the moment, I mean, you know, what's going on in Ukraine is a different matter indeed. I mean, you've got really young lads, you know what I mean? And just really young, okay? You know, and you've even got women, I do believe, as well, okay? Then you've got older, you know, who, God bless them all, you know, they're too old to go into the army, do you see what I mean? So, but what I'm talking about is, so God bless them all, but what I'm saying is that 9 times out of 10, the way that I've always known it, is that ones would go into the army, whether they're male or female, when they're young. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, so of course, you know, when you're young, of course, you do different things, don't you? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? It's like, it's only now that you've got more and more, God bless the beautiful dear souls, you know, who are waking up to the fact that these wars used not for the right reasons. Do you see what I'm saying to my delicious little babies? And of course you got so many, God bless them, you know, with all the wars and everything, where there's just been so many, very sadly, passing away, but really they never needed to pass away. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? You know, it's another, what's the word we're looking for? Culling. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But anyway, let me just go back, sorry, to this landlord. So I'm pretty sure that over the months we're going to be hearing more of this in a lot of different places, you know, because this is what's happened, see? And again, it comes, you know, when it comes down to ka-ching, do you see what I mean? You have got your greedy ones, there we go. You know, your ones who are just super duper flipping greedy. But of course, they're not going to be liking, when their tenants treat them in a different way. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? So yes, we're just going to be hearing more and more and more and more. I mean, it's just getting bonkers by the minute, isn't it? Yes. And the other thing I heard, which was on another video this morning, was with the Silicon Valley, in America, right? While all that was going on, there were, those, okay, organising, according to what I'd heard, by the way, my delicious little babies, yes, and this I feel is rather trusted. Yes, I do, okay, I like them, I do, right? Anyway, for... to go to a war with China. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? Which, I mean, do you see? It's just one thing after the other. But nobody wants these wars. Nobody wants any of them. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? It's just destruction. And the way I see it is, my delicious little babies, it's all flipping putrid. There we go. It's all flipping putrid. Do you see? I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee, please, and thank you. Yes. And then I was hearing on another place, not on YouTube. It was, it was on BitChute anyway, I can say that much, okay? And I was listening to this man, because he'd done a video, and anyway, he's not very happy with YouTube, because, he's having to find different words to use. Because he was having his, he was having his videos, certain videos removed. Do you see? And he happened to be talking about one book. It was really interesting, actually. The video was about nearly 33 minutes long. My delicious little babies out there. But it was really, there we go, but it was really interesting to listen to. Do you see what I mean? I'm not going to say it, because that's one of his videos that got removed. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? And I've had my flipping fair share of having videos removed. Okay. But yes, it was really interesting, and he was reading out of a book from 1972. Very interesting to listen to indeed, my delicious and wonderful little babies out there that you are, okay? So, yes, that's all I really wanted to say today, really. So, we'll probably hear more of, them putting the, off their cars, their number plates, but we'll hear more of that. Well, that's good. I see that as being most healthy. Do you see what I mean? You see, as I always say, these, the putrid governments, sorry, I've got a itchy eye, our putrid governments, these putrid governments, yes, they seem to think that they can just do whatever they like and that everybody's going to put up with it. But I mean, at the end of the day, if we go back decades and decades and decades, okay, they wouldn't have been able to do sort of as much, shall we say, okay? But now you've got many more who are, rising up to this shite. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? And then, of course, like I said just previously, you're going to be hearing more of landlords and, things like this where, do you see what I mean? Because they put ka-ching, it's greed, isn't it? And then what do they end up with? They end up with a nightmare. Do you see? And this is what happens. You cannot just, and this is what I say, you cannot just get away with things in life. Because I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, eventually, there we go, it catches up. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? But yes, I mean, this is all we're hearing. It's like violence on a, it's on a, colossal scale now. I mean, there isn't one day that goes by where we're not hearing about violence or something happening. You know, but, you know, the fact of the matter is that I'm not so sure now that so many man and woman out there, you know, because you're going to get your do-gooders, my delicious little babies out there, and you'll get your do-gooders, you know, which there have been. You could hear them on videos, you know what I mean? Oh, yes, you know, yes, bring them in, yes, feel sorry. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, but when you ask them a question, this is the important thing here, my delicious little babies. When they were asked a question, oh, you know, would you put them up in your home? Oh, no, we don't have any room. But they're quick enough to say, oh, bring them over, bring them over, bring them over. And like I say, in most cases, you know, others, very sadly, in our different neck of the woods, okay, in all different places, you know, have very sadly lost their employment, lost their work, their job. Do you see? So I just think, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Yes, they are. Do you see? And with me, I'm just a woman with a view, aren't I? Do you know what I mean? And I usually have a view on a number of things. Do you see? I mean, some things I cannot say on my YouTube channel, on my videos. Do you see what I'm saying? But I have lots of views, believe you me, my delicious little babies, yes, that I'm most unhappy about hearing about or reading about. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But yes, everybody has their own opinions on things, but the way I see it is these do-gooders, well, you know, all that they've done is fueled our putrid flipping governments. Do you see? So, but the way I see it is, you know, they should just stop them coming in because, you know, like I say, I mean, these things, what ends up happening is, my delicious little babies, yes, there we go, before I even say it, it starts to escalate, okay? And what we must remember is as well is that we have different cultures, we have different ones who come from different countries and they have different beliefs with things, there we go. Do you see what I'm saying, yes? So what may be perfectly acceptable in, there we go, in their countries, well, it is not perfectly acceptable over here. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. And of course, you know, that's why you're going to be hearing, there we are, more and more and more. So it's going to be becoming, most negative. Do you see? There we go. And that's what happens. You know, when everybody's had enough, well, there we go, more cold here, so. When everybody's had enough, they're flipping had enough, haven't they? Do you see what I mean? Because nobody wants to feel that, you know, that their countries or something is just being overtaken by, you know, somebody else. Simple as, really, isn't it? Just say things in simple things. Do you see? Anyway, so that's the video, my delicious little babies. I've got nothing more to say. But yes, you know, thank you so very much for even taking the time to even listen to my videos. I mean, I've just been listening, just to say one more thing. In the past 2 days, there's been flipping ambulances speeding up the flipping main roads, back down the main roads. Do you see what I'm saying? I've just heard more ambulances, actually. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So we pretty much say what that's all about, my delicious little babies. Jab, 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 jib, jabs. Do you see what I'm saying to you? God bless them all, okay? So yes, so thank you so very much for even taking the time to even listen to my video today, okay? And please continue to feel the love, okay? And please give a tap on the back, a shake of the old hand, and to some family members, some friends, some work colleagues, please tell them that they're beautiful, wonderful, juicy and delicious, and that you love them so. Okay, now until my next video, my delicious little babies, much love to you all. God bless. Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.